For me, the talk of today's conference has been probably the work which has driven both CSM and One Manchester over that last 8 or 9 years. Put simply, it's about investing in communities, it's about investing in place, it's about investing in residents, it's about investing in the local economy, keeping money within the local economy, and working with partners, whether they be private businesses, the supply chain, the third sector, to do good.
Today has been all about social value, in particular the work of One Manchester, a housing provider, and this is all about ensuring that all the activities that One Manchester is involved in, and particularly the supply chain, there is a social virtuous outcomes. Already One Manchester have a great relationship with all its suppliers, and it's a two-way relationship. On the one hand, One Manchester have wider social aims, and also they're trying to, businesses want to do good by their place, for their places and for their people. So it's a mutual relationship, and it's about strengthening that relationship to ensure that we get social issues addressed and greater levels of social value.
We're here today just to try and learn a little bit more about CSR and social value, and find out whether we can provide some more assistance, more support, more than what we're doing now.
One Manchester, big organisation, significant spend, but when you compare that to their supply chain, you can really see the possibilities there and how they can maximise the benefit going forward. A lot of their supply chain is locally based, and the real thing where we'll see the impact over the coming years is how they can influence their own supply chain. So now they've got their sort of house in order, if you will, they've monitored their own spend, they can go out and influence that wider supply chain, and that's really where the added value comes. As well as One Manchester sort of putting across what they're looking for suppliers to do, they can also help suppliers. So where suppliers have a little bit of a gap in their capacity and they're unsure how to proceed, One Manchester can then help them take that forward.
I think One Manchester potentially get more involved than other clients and customers. They sort of tell you where really you need to focus, and with obviously us being a smaller contractor, that is something that helps us obtain your goals, and obviously is a benefit to us.
I think when we tendered for a recent scheme, I'd like to think that the decision to pick Keepmoat was weighted quite heavily on what we would deliver outside of the bricks and mortar. For me, that starts to show that you're raising the profile of social value. I'd have to say I'd have to rank them quite highly in terms of what they're trying to achieve. Certainly from what I've seen, you do raise the bar in terms of social value.
I think they're probably on the right path in terms of that connectivity, because they're speaking to other housing associations.
We should never forget that One Manchester does work in some of the more difficult areas of Manchester in terms of deprivation and poverty, and it's very enlightened of them to actually think through how they can go the extra mile, opposed to providing a house and a home in a neighbourhood, how they can actually work with the supply chain to also achieve some social and economic benefits.